Hi everybody watching, it's me Caden. I'm out here in the freezing weather. Now we've been getting a lot of snow days the past couple of months, and with one more on the way, it got me thinking about all the people who are involved in deciding a snow day, all the stuff that gets taken into account, so I'm going to be interviewing Superintendent Berg on the whole thing.
There's actually quite a number of people involved when we decide a snow day. So myself as superintendent is part of that conversation. We're in close contact with Marshall Lines and the bus company. They primarily determine whether or not it's safe to have buses out on the roads given the conditions. And then we also connect with area superintendents. We share a lot of services with our surrounding districts and actually share transportation. So it's kind of a three-pronged approach. And then we also communicate with our internal grounds people and our internal directors to figure that out. So it's not a single person. Ultimately, I make the decision on whether or not we cancel due to weather, but there's multiple people involved in that decision-making process.
Now we all know that the weather's been pretty bad the past couple of months, but there have been some times where the weather's been really terrible, but schools remained open, which got me thinking, how bad does the weather actually have to be in order for us to have a snow day?
Well, that's a tough question, right? Because it's all determined by how good the road conditions are. So, a little bit of ice can be really difficult to drive in, where 3 or 4 inches of snow you might be able to get through. So it's hard to pin on how bad it has to be in terms of snow to make that determination. We really rely on Marshall Lines to help us determine on whether or not it's safe to have buses out. So there's not a definitive answer around snow, unfortunately. I wish there was. It'd make my job a lot easier.
Snow days usually mean that we either do flex work at home or we don't have any work at all. But what about years in the past where we didn't have the technology to do flex days? How would students make up all that work, and how would that affect the teachers?
Prior to flex learning days, no, we did not bring students in, but we would have to make that time up. So when we didn't have flex learning days, kids would have to come either later and extend our school day by 2 or 3 minutes through the rest of the year, or make up time over spring break or the end of the school year. Like when we have a snow day, nope, we don't bring kids in. Now, do our teachers have access to the building, other staff? Yes, they do. We have a few essential employees that do come in and work, but for the most part, people are able to work remotely. Now, on a snow day, do I typically come in? Yes, I do typically come into my office.
Now, we've been getting a lot of snow days the past couple of weeks, but that's nothing new for Minnesota. I remember one year we had 4 days off in a row, which got me thinking about what year out of all the years in Farmington has had the most snow days?
Well, I think this year I've been superintendent for 3.5 years, and I think we've had 3 weather-related days, and I think that's the most that we've had in the 3.5 years. And unfortunately, as we continue to look at the projections for weather out the next couple of months, there's going to be some days where I'm going to have to get up early and make those decisions moving forward as well.
So safe to say there is a very long process when it comes to deciding snow days. When will the next one be? Only time will tell. Reporting for Tiger News, I'm Caden. Now back to the desk.